where to go, and I was putting on weight. All the business networking was either champagne and canapes, or I want a really lovely, healthy lunch. So the first important element was a nice lunch, salad, salmon, chicken, really nice, healthy sit-down meal. The second element was a friendly welcome. I didn't like walking into a room and then, no, I don't know what to do. Then I would just go over to the coffee, grab a coffee and stand around looking awkward and stay by the wall, and didn't like that. So for me, I had to have a really friendly welcome, make sure everybody felt welcomed. And the same goes for the goodbye. Make sure we intentionally say goodbye. That was the second really important element. The third one was the structured program. For a similar reason, I didn't like not knowing what was going on and what to do. So we had a clear structured program. We printed it out and popped it on the table, place settings, so everybody knew what was happening and when. And also, there was always something going on, so you didn't have those moments where you stood around and didn't know what to do. The fourth was to help women grow in confidence. I knew I wasn't very confident. I knew that I struggled to know how to interrupt a conversation or interject myself into a conversation. And I knew that one of the reasons why I wasn't doing too well at business networking was because I just lacked the confidence, and in business in general. And so I set up the business lunch around how can we give the women a little push every time we meet, just to help them grow in confidence. And so what we do is stand up, everybody stands up around the table and has 60 seconds to introduce them to themselves and their business. And many of them said, do I have to? I'm like, I'm afraid you do. And I didn't mean that in a mean way. Honestly, it's like, if I can give you a little push, this is really going to help you. And others, obviously, professionals, they just stood up and they smashed it. But it was a wonderful way to very carefully and slowly help people, or women, find their confidence to stand up and confidently present to the room. Because that would have a knock-on effect in mixed gender networking. It would have a knock-on effect if you ever had to do a presentation, and it could only do good. So that was important. Number 5, an opportunity to get help. I didn't want us just to come there, get some business cards and leave. I wanted us to really grow and get the help we needed. And so the way we did that was we had what we call a Wonder Bra session. And that is a time in the program to lift and support you in your business. Now, many women had faces like yours. Oh no, it's about bras. Absolutely not, although I did contact Wonder Bra to get permission to use the term. But all it was we all sat around one table that was part of the model, and one person got to bring their problem area to the table, and the whole room brainstormed it. And it was absolutely wonderful. That's always the highlight for everyone. Not only did the one person who brought their problem area get the value of a whole room brainstorming their problem, but everybody gained. It was either something we were facing, going to face, or had faced. The 6th was the way we finished. From that day until this day, every event we've ever done, when you leave, we'll give you a lovely rose and say thank you for coming. And for some it was like, I don't want a rose, they're just chucking their bag. But for most, it was really important. It was like, wow, I feel special, I feel valued. I know that, in fact, a story just quickly to share, one of the ladies was having a particularly difficult week, and she said she looked up on her kitchen windowsill and saw the rose, and she said it just really encouraged her. And so it was just an important touch, making sure that you left with something, and something that made you feel important and valuable. And then the final, the 7th key ingredient was sincere follow-up. I didn't want to build an event, I wanted to build a community. And meeting once a month, it's not going to give us much opportunity to really bond, to really get to know each other. So it was essential that we as a team, or at the time it was just me, caught up with people in between events, and also encourage people to connect with each other and get to know each other. And so that was it. That was the very first event, and I absolutely loved it, and the ladies loved it. Pia, where are you? She was at our very first event. That was the very first one. And I remember I sat opposite you, and I was so nervous. I'm like, she's hating it, she's not going to like it. I know. And so that's it. That's where it all started. And from there, I thought, you know what? There are people who know stuff and people who need to know stuff. We set up half-day training courses. Let's learn together. And then I was like, okay, let's do more clubs. Let's go to Gloucester. Let's go to Forest of Dean. Let's go to Swindon. I started setting up more clubs. It's like, okay, I've reached capacity. I cannot do any more now, but I really want to reach as many women as possible. And so I decided, okay, let's franchise this. I've never done that before in my life, but I thought, can't be that hard. Set up a franchise, got leaders, trained leaders. And it was so important to me that every single club, you had the same experience. You go into the club, you got that welcome, you got that food, you had a wonderful experience. And it grew, and it grew. And from that day until this day, here we are. We had, at the end of our very first year, we had conference and awards, and I say that because it was very small. It was 4 of the clubs coming together for a Christmas lunch, and we ended with the awards. And the awards were a bit of entertainment, really. I thought it was just a nice way, to celebrate together. What I didn't realize was that it was really important. It really made a difference. It really encouraged and empowered women. So we had some tongue-in-cheek awards, like the Loch Ness Award for the invisible member. She paid her membership and we never saw her. We had the Badger Award, was for the member who took the most badges home, because you're supposed to leave them. So, she just had a collection of badges at her house. And so we gave out these awards, and we also had a more serious award like the Businesswoman of the Year award and things like that. And what I found was every single award, women were sharing on social media. They're contacting their local, press and radio station, having interviews. I was like, wow, I didn't realize people took these things so seriously. And so that was our very first conference and awards. But I started realizing that it's important. It's important that there's an opportunity for you to get a pat on the back. And it's like, you've been noticed. You've done a great job. Well done. If you're in a career, you often get the reward of a pay rise or promotion. But if you're running your own business, you may never get the acknowledgement or the encouragement or be celebrated. And so I thought, no, this is serious. We need to take this seriously. We need to make really good awards, make sure that they're independently judged, make sure that this becomes something valuable. And so we have. This is the 10th time we're doing it. So fast forward, nearly 10 years. So January next year will be the 10th anniversary. This is our 10th conference. Now we have 6 staff members, so we're still a very small team, much to my team's frustrations, like we need more staff. We have freelancers, we have leaders, franchisees, volunteers. We're reaching out to several countries, and we are in the process of trying to achieve 1,000 coffee and co-working events across the country, so that no businesswoman has to feel alone. And so this is part of our post-pandemic recovery. Coffee and co-working events are free to attend. It's a very simple model. It's not like the lunch, because we didn't want to have to charge for it. It's just coffee and co-working, exactly that. We find a nice venue. You bring your laptop or your computer, you come together, you network and you co-work. And we want to set up minimum 1,000 of these within the next 18 months across the UK. Greek philosopher, I'm so scared I say this wrong, Heraclitus, can you see how that could have gone a bit wrong? He said, change is the only constant in life. And one thing that we've done a lot of is change. Where's Cheryl? Right? Much to our members and leaders' frustrations, like, oh no, not another change. But we really had to keep tweaking, testing, measuring, trying things to make sure that we found the best possible model to support and serve as many businesswomen across the world. And so some things are really pinned down. That lunch that I described to you as the very first one, that model hasn't changed. That model, I tell you, even the price didn't change in 10 years. We only need to relook at the prices now because obviously, But we managed to keep the same price, the same format, because it works. Why change what works? But other things we've tweaked and we've changed. And I believe and there's going to be a lot more change coming. We want to do a lot more with funding for businesswomen. We want to do a lot more advocacy. So we will keep growing and changing, but we're going to keep what's really working well, and then we're going to add as we can. But let's go back to the beginning. I said I had one thing to tell you, my one key. And this might shock you. My one key is stop trying to reach your full potential. Okay, I know, if you go on my website right now, it says helping you unleash your full potential. I have a personal speaking website. I've said it, I've taught it, I've encouraged it for years. Let me help you unleash your full potential. You need to unleash your full potential. I was so wrong. I was so wrong, and I'm so sorry. I'll tell you why. We can't realize our full potential. We can't. There's too much of it. I'm not being negative. I'm not bringing it down. Huh? There's too much. Okay? It'll take too much time, and there's too much that potential that lies within inside of us. Tony Robbins, sorry, but I disagree. Okay, we will wipe ourselves out if we try. It's exhausting. We aren't going to be great at anything if we're doing everything. So, I'm telling you from experience now that reaching your full potential is actually not the goal. So what is it all about? What is the goal? I believe it's about purpose. It's about finding and fulfilling your purpose. And that's going to be an absolute game changer. We have more potential than we ever realized. The definition of potential is the capacity to develop into something in the future. The definition of purpose is the reason for which something exists. They're different. What's the reason you exist? What's the reason your business exists? What's your purpose? Have you clearly articulated this and written it down? Are you constantly talking about it? I tell you, I hope that you can bear with me, but there's something quite freeing in where I'm going with this. I recently read Shoe Dog. Anybody read Shoe Dog? Amazing. Oh my goodness. Amazing thriller by Phil Knight, founder of Nike. It's his story of how he founded and built Nike. And my goodness, one thing that stood out to me is how can somebody be so passionate and obsessed about running shoes? He had the potential to be a great runner, but he realized he wasn't very good. But his purpose was running shoes. Make great running shoes. Make the best running shoes. Serve the world with these amazing running shoes. He found his purpose. And my goodness, I can tell you the difference it made. Not only did his passion and his purpose stand out to me, but also I noticed something. That purpose attracted his team. And they sacrificed. I said, I don't know if I could ever get my staff to do that. Or so I don't think my staff would ever do that. His team just made unusual sacrifices because they were so bought into the purpose. And that's what purpose does. It will attract others like you, trying to reach a purpose. And together you will do whatever it takes because that purpose is so powerful. Okay, I can give you an example from my life. I like to play piano, or try to play piano, play guitar, learn to sing, learn to dance, be a good wife and a mom and run a lovely home. It's my personal life. Business. Within the business, I've built websites, spreadsheets, automation systems, marketing, admin, sales, finance, social media, HR, PR, and even CPR. And I have the potential to be great at any of those. How many lifetimes do I have to be great at even one of those? And that's when I realized I'm so frustrated. I'm so exhausted trying to be the best at all these things. Worst of all, I'm robbing my team. I'm robbing those around me. You know, if I'm trying to be good at everything, there's no room for anybody else to flourish and rise up. When I realized that it's not about all my potential, because I kind of feel guilty. I feel bad if I don't try to be really good at this and try to be really good at this, because I know I'm a little bit good at it. So I need to try and realize my full potential in it. And I feel like I had an obligation, especially as a leader, to show by example. And then I was like, I don't want to do it anymore. I just want to be a housewife and do nothing or something. But, oh gosh, no disrespect for housewives. I did that for years when I raised my kids, so that wasn't meant in any other way than having a nice break. I think I've put my foot in it there. Frustrated and exhausted. And then when I realized purpose, there's something different. Potential is like, I've got to keep trying, I've got to keep striving, I've still got this potential, I've still got that potential, and I have the potential for that. Purpose is so focused. This is the purpose. This is what I'm building, and attracting more people, more of the same. So our purpose at Women's Business Club is simply this: to empower women to succeed in business. That's it. Now, what this purpose does for us is, number one, keeps us focused, because it answers the question, is that empowering women to succeed in business? If not, we don't do it. So we don't have to have big team meetings and debates. Does it empower women to succeed in business? Nope, well, we're not doing it. Okay, so it keeps us focused. It makes decisions easier. Is that empowering women to succeed in business? If no, no's the answer. If not, it's just a no. We don't have to debate it and go through all, decision-making process. If it's not achieving our purpose, then no, we're not doing it, regardless of what it is. Even if it's a phenomenal other income stream. It's very tempting sometimes to say, you know what, we do need more income. Let's just compromise on our purpose because we need that income stream. And it's very tempting, but I think it's worth pushing through and saying, no, if that doesn't achieve our purpose, it's a no. It creates a strong culture. It answers the question, is that empowering women to succeed in business? If not, please stop doing it. And that's not only internally as a team, but if we have somebody in our business community who is being unkind, it's like, that's not what we're about. We're here to empower. Or somebody that's gossiping, or those sorts of things that women can be guilty of sometimes. We are great at some things, but we have a few other things. We can easily say we're about empowering women to succeed, and that's not how we do it. And that will either help people be better, or it will push them away and they won't be interested. It doesn't matter, because we are about empowering women to succeed in business. That's why we're here today. We're trying to create a platform for all you lovely ladies so that you can be empowered, so you can share your businesses and do talks. It gives us a great reporting tool. It answers the question, how many women have we empowered to succeed in business this month or year? It attracts the right clients. Do you need to be empowered to succeed in business? Come on over, join us. It attracts and retains staff. Are you passionate about empowering women to succeed in business? Great, join our team. And it aligns with our personal purpose. If all of the above doesn't work, if our personal purpose doesn't align with our company purpose. And so we want to attract people who are equally passionate. And there are some amazing women that we've chatted to are like, yes, let's do this. And there's something about purpose that just gets people to say, yes, let's do it. We'll do whatever it takes. One thing I've thought about, this is my own thought, and I'm not 100% sure, but I think that trying to find your purpose is selfish. It's about me, how I can be great. If I'm trying to reach my full potential. Did I say purpose? Potential. It's me. My full potential is about making me great. But finding my purpose, it's more serving. It's about what can I do that's great. And 9 times out of 10, that's for a greater good, for the benefit of others. As I said, my little thought, you can take it or leave it. So let's look at the difference between purpose and potential. Potential is unlimited, unfocused, unachievable. No, not already. You guys. Purpose is specific, clear, and fulfilling. So purpose is specific, where potential is unlimited. It can be anything. And what I love about getting a clear purpose is focused. It's so much easier to do something or build something if it's clear, if it's specific. And also, you can encourage others. This is where we're going. Because it's so focused, it's so clear, it's so specific. Come along, this is where we're going. Do you want to join us? So imagine building your life and your business around that, rather than, I can do this, I can do that, I can be great at this, I'm going to work hard at that. There's nothing wrong with self-development, that's not what I'm saying, but you get the gist. So now I have to pick what I'm going to end off with, because you guys gave me the 5 minutes. Skip. There's a link between purpose and growth. Sir Richard Carr, chairman of BAE, said, the pursuit of growth for its own sake is quite dangerous. You've got to be very careful and not be bewitched by growth. It has to be part of a business model which has more thoughtful outcomes than just revenue increase. increases. So obviously there's not time to go into all of that, but that's just something to put out there. And then the other thing is purpose is key to employee engagement. An HR review report found that 1 in 4 British managers would take a pay cut for a purpose-led job. A third would leave their job if the company's overall purpose was unclear. More than half would leave their company if their company's values and purpose did not align with their own. Now, especially the next generation, I found, and this is proven statistically, the next generation really want purpose. They want meaning. So how do you find your purpose? Obviously, I have like 3.5 minutes left now, so I'm going to only give you the bullet points. But in my experience and opinion, there are 4 key ways to help you find your purpose. Know yourself, know your passion, know your future, make a difference. And I'll quickly explain what I mean. Know yourself. Your purpose, I believe, again, I'm doing a lot of I believes because I really want to just put stuff out there. You figure it out for what's right for you. But anybody who's heard me speak knows I'm a passionate believer of what you play as a child, you should do as a job as an adult. That's, the most simplest way for me to say find your purpose. There's always a caveat. If you've had a traumatic, upsetting childhood, then it can be blurry, and you may need to do a bit of extra work and counseling to dig deeper than most. But for most of us, what we played, that's what we should do in a very simple form to generate an income. Know your passion. There are things that you talk about. You don't have to be told, you need to talk about this. That's your passion. There are things that you'll do for free just because you love it. Bring me a spreadsheet any day. If you're having trouble with a formula any day, bring it to me. I just love fiddling with spreadsheets and formulas. Now, that could be something that's an indicator of, okay, there's an underlying passion there. What is that? So consider your passion. What are you passionate about? That must be, closely linked to your purpose. Know your future. I love this. Look ahead. Can you see yourself still doing that thing at the end of your life? And if you get a cold chill saying, no, it's probably not your purpose, I'm not saying you can't retire. I'm quite excited about retirement one day. But I know that I will always be empowering people around me, whether it's in a paid capacity, whether I'm doing it for free, whether I'm doing it with my grandchildren. My gorgeous 2 little granddaughters. But I don't feel like, oh no, I can't do this for the rest of my life. Where some of you may be in a job or a business and you're thinking, I can't wait till retirement, or I can't wait till I can exit this business or whatever. And maybe that's because you're not doing what you're truly called to do. You're not fulfilling your purpose. You're going to shout at me now soon. So I'm going to finish off with some of the ways that we can fulfill our purpose of empowering women to succeed in business. Now, you don't have to be a leader at our club to be a part of the mission, although you're very welcome to. We need 1,000 or more leaders. You don't have to be a member of Women's Business Club to empower women around you, although if you're interested, chat to Amy in the foyer. It can be quite a simple decision that you are going to live in a way that's empowering those around you. I'm done. Thanks, guys. Because I have such a dream, such a passion. Looking out at all these faces here, looking out at women across the globe, imagine what we can do if we make the conscious decision that we are going to empower other women. We're not going to step all over them to get a promotion at work. We're not going to shortchange them or backstab them or cheat them to make more money in business. We are going to say, you know what, ladies, I'm here for you. Will you be here for me? Let's empower each other. That means we are lifting each other. That means we are leading the ladder down. That means that we are intentionally saying, imagine if this was an empowered community of women living according to your purpose, your true purpose. So a fulfilled and empowered imagine. And just us in the room, we could change the world. And too often than not, we tend to tear each other down for whatever reason. Not all, but there are many people that are actually doing more harm than good. So no matter where you are at in your business or your journey or your life, I would encourage you, just join us on this one mission. Let's be intentional about empowering women. I can't carry on, I have so many reasons, but I have to stop. Jordan, you're supposed to be here.